you ready? You better buckle up here, bitches. Holy cow. Hey, the Godfather, man, he will do this, though, to you. He'll put you on blast. If a football team screws up on him, he will. He'll put you on blast. Just like the Eagles here. Let's bring our friend in, the legend himself. It was wonderful to meet you, brother.
It's an awesome time, Dan, man. Awesome
Dude,
time.
I was great. I can't wait to see you again, man. I mean, you were great. It was really awesome to press a palm with you, and I can't thank you enough for coming by King of Prussia this past Saturday. Thank you, man. It really means a lot to me. Our building friendship means a lot, too.
It was awesome. I felt the great karma between us, man. It's a good feeling with good people.
You know? It is, man. All right. You building that good karma up for Monday with the Birds and Seattle?
It's going to be a tough game. They got to travel 2,800 miles. They haven't won there since 2008. It's not going to be easy. There's going to be some rain in that game, some weather. Thank God there's not going to be any wind. The good news is Seattle's pass defense might be a little worse than the Eagles. So I'm expecting Jalen Hurts to bounce back and have a good game here. He struggled against a lot of the better pass defenses this season, but against the ones that are kind of mediocre or bad, he's played pretty well. And he's the same quarterback he was last year. He's just playing better defenses this year. That's all.
So when people go here with this and they look at Seattle goes into this game on Monday night 6-7, but here's the deal: the Eagle defense is currently ranked 22nd, and the Seattle offense is 20th, and you've got Tyler Lockett and you have DK Metcalf. That's got to put a little nervousness in it, even the Ricky wideout too. I mean, you could make the argument they have a better wide receiver room than what the Eagles do. It's going to come down to Geno Smith, plus they have the coaching on their side. You think this is a fourth quarter game, or do you think this is a comfortable game?
I think the team that has the ball last actually wins this game.
Oh, so it's a close one.
Yeah, and the Eagles are getting kind of lucky here because Geno's still a little banged up. I was talking to Pro Football Doc and on the show last night. He says Geno's still a little banged up, so he's not 100%. So they're going into Seattle. They're going to face a quarterback that isn't 100% healthy. But like you said, it's a tough game. And this Eagles pass defense, I'm going to tell everyone right now, this is the worst pass defense in the NFL. Okay, their metrics have them around like 22nd or 23rd in opponent yards per pass attempt and opponent completion percentage. But if that defensive line wasn't as good as they are, they would be getting smoked even worse. Their metrics are skewed in a bad way, not in a good way. So this pass defense is one of the worst I've ever seen in Philly, and they're probably the worst in the NFL this season. So they got major issues on that pass defense, but they're catching the Seahawks with a banged-up quarterback. Jalen Hurts plays pretty good against teams that can't defend the pass. So I think it's going to be a shootout. I like the Eagles here in the first half, actually. I bet them on the money line minus 150. I bet over 249 passing yards for Jalen Hurts. And I bet anytime touchdown for Jalen Hurts as well. He's going to have to play his ass off for this Eagles team. This game is huge for the Eagles. They're trying to get the number one seed and position in that playoffs. But this game is even bigger for the Seahawks. They're fighting for the playoff lives. So anyone that's thinks this is a bigger game for the Eagles are nuts. Both teams are fighting for their lives here. And if the Eagles do lose, they're in trouble. They're in serious trouble. So,
I think it's lasting problems that you have because you'll be limping into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you lose this Seattle game, do you agree? They could drop one of them Giant games.
Oh, absolutely. Tommy DeVito. It's a division game. And even Arizona, they beat them last year by 1 point. And the Eagles team last year was a lot better than they are this year. And it's kind of like a pro fighter. You'll see a guy who's 20-0, and then he'll get in the ring and get knocked out and lose. 6 months later, he gets back in the ring, he loses again. All of a sudden, they'll be scared of him no more. So it's a lot of confidence, too. I mean, if they've lost their confidence, the Eagles could be in trouble moving forward.
Has Jalen Hurts, has he now taken himself basically with his play out of the MVP race?
Yeah, he's completely out of the race now. It's Dak Prescott, Purdy, Lamar. Dak Prescott is the odds-on favorite right now. I just happened to give him out at the beginning of the season at 20-1. So, still, we haven't cashed the ticket yet. So, we'll see what happens. But, yeah, he's out of the race. It's the turnovers that have killed him this year. The Eagles ranked like 22nd in the league in turnover margin. And that's been their issue all year long. They can't go up to Seattle and turn the ball over. They'll lose the game. They're going to have to win the turnover differential Monday night in a game with some weather. So they're going to have to play a little conservative in the first half. Both teams really don't score much in the first half. They're averaging 11 points per game. So you might see a little lower scoring game in the first half. Both teams maybe come out and play a little conservative, try to run the ball so they don't cough the ball up. So you might see a little lower scoring. I think the first half total is at like 24, 23 and a half. I kind of like the under a little bit. I lean the under in the first half, but eventually I think this game goes over the total.
Do you ever make bets or because I know they do this kind of stuff in Europe and like they do this in England. Do you ever place a prop bet, or if this is quantified as a prop bet, Belichick to the Chargers, the Raiders, places like that? Do you ever put money on something like that, or do you not? Because I know they have those kind of crazy off bets like that in England and over in Europe. Do you do any of that?
Yeah, if I got the information, one year I knew Bosa was getting picked under, 5 draft picks. So we bet him to go under the first 5 draft picks. It's all that kind of wager is all based on information. If it's a credible source, if it's someone who shouldn't have opened his mouth and told somebody that and you can get down. I mean, it's gold. When you have information that's not factored into the point spread and the bookmakers don't know about it, well, that's how you make a lot of money in this market.
Huh. Huh. Really? I'm gonna have to ask Frank some questions. I don't know. Hey,
no birds, baby. No birds.
Okay. Let's get into these games, man. All right. Hey, you a fan of the Saturday games?
Yeah. Anywhere I can make some money. If I find an edge, I'll bet it, man. If we can flip some coins and I got an edge and the one coin's a little banged up and weighted, I'll play anybody.
Minnesota at Cincinnati. Minnesota still hanging in there for the playoffs, and actually so is Cincinnati.
Yeah, they're both 7-6 on the season. Yep. What scares me is Cincinnati's defense. Minnesota's got a pretty good defense. Top 10 in opponent yards per play, opponent yards per pass attempt. They held the Raiders to no points the previous week. The Raiders put 63 points last night. It's 3. The number's right on the number. If the game goes to 3.5, I'll probably be looking to take Minnesota plus 3.5. Game's a coin flip. Both teams are fighting for their lives. Minnesota has the better defense. As of right now, about 75% of all the early action, all the squares are betting the Bengals after they blew out the Colts last week. So I kind of like Minnesota plus 3.5 if it gets there. It hasn't got there yet, but if it gets to 3.5, I'll be on the Vikings.
How about this, man? I mean, at the beginning of the year, you're thinking Cousins, Burrow. Now I'm got Mullins versus Browning.
I know.
I mean, right? I mean, and but get this, they're still in it. These two teams. I mean, this has been the year of the backup.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so many backup quarterbacks are in the league. A lot of teams got really banged up this year. We talked about it at the beginning of the season. I mean, look at the 49ers. If they lose Trent Williams going into the playoffs, just pencil in the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl. He went down early in the season. They lost 3 in a row. That's how fragile some of these really good teams are. You lose the main guy on that offensive line, all of a sudden Brock Purdy isn't in the MVP conversation no more. You saw how he played in those 3 games. So injuries are huge.
I thought you were Greek. You talk with your hands like you're a paisan. I'm just
well, no thoughts on that side.
How about this one here? Pittsburgh and Indianapolis, both teams also still fighting for playoffs. And Indianapolis, like you said, dropped a hard one last week. But what's your spin on this one here?
I mean, the line's 1.5. The Colts are, laying 1.5. Bookmakers are begging for Colts money here. Tomlin's still a pretty good coach. What scares me is the Colts defense is, I mean, you look at their metrics, they look better than Pittsburgh's, better in sack percentage, opponent yards per play. This is a tough game to call. I didn't bet it, so I don't want to give it out to everyone watching the show. But if anything, I kind of lean Pittsburgh here, man.
I think this is a pretty big ball game here for both. Hey, you want to hear something psycho about this Denver-Detroit game? Is that if Kansas City, I don't believe they're going to, we'll get to that game. If they happen to drop that and they lose and the Broncos win, they're going to be tied for the West. And Detroit, which is 9-4, has a chance to still stay in there. There's really nobody else after the Lions. Everyone else has got 6 wins. Vikings are the only team with 7 wins here. So how do you look at this one here? It's in Motown, Denver and Detroit. This is a pretty good matchup here, too. You got Russell Wilson versus Jared Goff.
Yeah, you're getting 4.5 points on this Broncos team that has some quality wins on the season. You look at the teams they've beaten, the Browns, the Chiefs, over the last 6-game stretch, while Detroit really hasn't looked impressive. They've got one quality win on the season that came week 1 against the Chiefs. Other than that, they've had a really weak schedule. They have a 2-game cushion in their division. I bet him at the beginning of the season, they won the NFC North pretty big because of their schedule. I kind of like the Broncos here. Peyton's making me a believer.
Yeah.
You got to,
Yeah.
how can you? I'll take the 4.5 points on Denver here. I like them.
Let's go to the Sunday games. Now, I wouldn't throw this game at you, but Cleveland is still alive in it. They're at 8-5 right now. By the way, Kevin Stefanski's doing a hell of a job flying under the radar here. And Chicago's won 2 in a row. It's the first time that that Matt Eberflus and Justin Fields have won 2 games in a row here. They had an upset win, I believe, against the Bears last week. So, I mean, how do you look at this? It's in Cleveland.
I kind of like the Bears a little bit. I mean,
Wow.
This Cleveland's defense is banged up. And I talked to the injury doc, and he said this is the Bears are the healthiest team in the NFL right now. They're going into this week. So they've been banged up all season. I like the healthier team. I think the game's a coin flip, especially with the injuries on the Browns' defensive side of the ball. If you can grab plus 3.5 on the Bears, I think you cash your ticket.
How about this, man? These games all look like they matter this week. Because here, look, Tampa Bay right now is in first place in the South at 6-7, and they're taking on Green Bay, who was upset last week, and they're 6-7. They can get their record back to 7-7, and they're still in the playoff hunt right now. It's a pretty big game. It's at Lambeau. Who do you like in this one?
I don't like the price. It's 3.5. Green Bay's minus 3.5. If it gets below that key number of 3, which is so important in this sports betting market, I'll probably look to take Green Bay, even though they're coming off a short week. And they're coming off, I don't even know how they lost that game. I mean,
yeah, no doubt.
Come on, man. They had so many opportunities, missed field goals. I mean, everything bounced the right way. But Tommy DeVito, I mean, you got to give him credit. He's been playing some great football for the Giants. I had him tied into teasers last week, and I lost those wagers with Green Bay. I just can't lay 3.5 here against a team like Tampa Bay that's fighting for their playoff lives. If it gets below that key number of 3, which it might, at some of the sharper shops, I'm seeing it drop down to 3. I might be looking to take the Packers minus 2.5 if I get that number.
Houston had a hard loss last week. They're 7-6 in the AFC South right now, and they're just a game behind the Jaguars now. You got Tennessee sitting at 5-8. Mike Vrabel's name is being thrown around as a possible replacement up in New England.
Yeah.
I'm thinking he doesn't want to probably bow out in Tennessee if that does come to a head there. But so I don't believe that Titans team will lay down. How do you look at this ball game here? And plus, Stroud, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure he's playing.
Yeah, that's the big problem. They're really banged up. Tennessee's so much healthier than this team going into this week. I took the Texans over 5.5 wins before the season started, so we cashed that ticket. I thought they were going to be better than most people thought. I thought they put up a wrong number on that team with a quarterback like CJ. But now with him being banged up, he might not play. They got some other key issues on their offense that aren't playing either, key guys. But again, it's all about the price. The game's right there at 3.5. I'm not looking to lay 3.5 on Tennessee either after that dramatic win. I mean, I had to check the score 3 times last week, Dan.
I couldn't believe they came back. What was it, 18?
They were down 14 points.
14.
In a matter of 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I went to get something to eat. I came back, and I was like, what? This is wrong. I'm thinking it was incredible.
I went to bed. I woke up. They lost. I was like, holy shit, I can't believe that they laid an egg like that.
It's crazy.
I couldn't believe that Miami would do that. And speaking of Miami, here they go, the Jets. I mean, I told you this before about the Jets. There's only one guy that's more famous. There's only one guy more famous than this guy that is Joe Namath, is Fireman Ed. They don't have any other guy but Fireman Ed as a popular guy. But here, Jody McDowell. Okay, New York Jets versus the Miami Dolphins. What do you got here? It's in South Florida, by the way.
The game was waiting at 8.5 and went up to 10, and now it's
8.5, 10,
and now it's back to like 9.5.
I might take the Jets on that.
It's a lot of points. Miami's all banged up. I mean, they're missing guys on their offensive line. I mean, their defense. That's a lot of points. I mean, plus 10 is a lot of points. I didn't bet it yet, but I lean towards the Jets here, plus 10.
There he is. Kansas City goes to New England. By the way, I don't know. I don't believe Belichick's ever lost to wait. I don't know. He's got some really great record versus Kansas City. And it's in New England. And I don't know, man. There's a lot of bitching and crying and moaning going on. And I don't think they have enough offense. Do they right the ship Kansas City going up to New England?
Well, they're expecting some weather. The total of the game's 37 points. So it's a low total. The game was as high. It opened up 10. It's down to 8.5, 8. There's some sharp money on the Patriots here. I mean, honestly, this could be a dangerous spot for the Chiefs, man. They got to be careful they don't trip up because the Broncos are on their ass. So I like the Patriots. If you can get plus 10, I would take the Patriots. That's a lot of points.
Can you imagine if Sean Payton wins the AFC West?
Wow. After way they started?
Was it a 2-5 start?
Wow.
Oh, man.
Wow.
No wonder they gave him $20 million.
And we were talking about him like 3-4 weeks ago. You could have had 70-1 on him.
I know. I'm going like this. I mean, this thing's a disaster. And now Wilson may be comeback player of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, they're coming on strong. Watch out for the Broncos.
All right, here we go. Tommy Cannoli and the New York Giants versus the very underperforming New Orleans Saints. I'll tell you this, the most disappointing team this year with the shittiest schedule that they could have really did some damage this year has to be that Saints team. I think the Saints should have had 12 wins this year. Instead, they're sitting here wallowing around at 6-7. That's a disappointing team. And here you got, hey, look at this, man. What is it, 3 in a row now? With Tommy DeVito here? What do you got in this game here?
Line's 5.5.
It's in New Orleans, too.
Yeah, Saints are favored by 5.5. I mean, if you're looking to take the Giants now, you're buying high in this market, right? Everyone's going to jump on them. They got the fever. They got the Italian stallion back there throwing the football. I don't know how he beat me last week, but it cost me a couple bucks last week.
He beat you with the Maloik.
Oh,
that's
man.
What he did. He put the Maloik on him.
Yeah, I'm not looking to take the Giants here. And like you said, the Saints have underperformed all season. Softest schedule in the entire league, and they're not getting it done. Coaching, quarterback play, they got some serious issues. But this week, I think they cover that spread. Kind of like the Saints.
Atlanta's still involved in the race here for the NFC South. They're right behind the Buccaneers, along with Saints and Bucks. Bucks are right now 1. Falcons are sitting in a 2-hole in the NFC South at 6-7. They're taking on a 1-win Carolina team right now, which is 1-12 with no hope. And get this, you're the richest owner in the league and you're the shittiest owner in the league. Can't be a good combo for David Tepper right now. Do you think they get it done, Atlanta, and even their record of 7-7?
Man, the whole world's going to be betting the Falcons this week. Last time I talked to my guys out in Vegas, they said 8 out of every 10 tickets placed early have been on Atlanta here. Line's only 3. I mean, should be.
Wow.
Yeah. So I knew the Panthers were going to be bad this year. I think I gave them out on your show before the season started, under 7.5 wins. I just didn't think they were going to be this bad. They've all, I mean, it's tough. It's tough betting on Carolina's the right side, but I can't invest in that team. But they are the right side in this spot going into this game. If you can get, they're the right. I'm not betting it, but they're the right side. Carolina's the right side.
Okay, Washington at the Rams. Now, the Rams right now are second in the West. They're 6-7. They're still alive in the playoff hunt. I really think that Sean McVay's done a nice job at coaching that football team. And by the way, that Puka Nacua guy, holy shit, what a great rookie year he's having. The other side of that, you got Cooper Kupp. Stafford looks like he's turning it back around again. They're getting some sort of a running game. How do you see this thing here? Washington, it's in SoFi.
Yeah, it's they're laying 6.5 at home, the Rams. I actually bet under 7.5 wins for the Rams this year. I didn't think they were going to be as good as they are. They're better than I thought. I'm still hoping I can cash that ticket. but I don't think it gets done. I like the Rams here, -6.5. I think Washington's spent. Anything under a touchdown, I think the Rams cover the spread.
This is interesting one too here. 49ers at Arizona. Now, Arizona's probably going to look at this. Obviously, it's a divisional game too. And they beat the piss out of the Cowboys earlier in the year. Kyler Murray's playing. So you're going to have an ability to be able to move the chains a little bit here with the quarterback. San Francisco's on an all-time high. Now, I didn't really think they put up a great effort against Seattle this past week. I mean, kind of maybe a layover a little bit from what they did to the Eagles. But is this game close, or is there a big number on this, and who do you have?
Originally opened up 13.5. I mean,
whoa,
guys were favored by that's a big number in the NFL on the road.
Anything double-digit is out of hand.
It's too much, and Arizona can still hang around. They got a mobile quarterback to deflate that pass rush a little bit that San Francisco has. I kind of like Arizona here. I think it's down to 12, though. That's the problem. If you can still find a 13 in the market, I would take Arizona plus 13. I think this game is closer than most people think.
Okay, here we go. Dallas at Buffalo. Now, I want to read you something here. Here's some statistics on the Cowboys here. Okay, right now, the Buffalo Bills are one of 6 teams at 7-6, and the Cowboys have won 15 straight ball games at their place. On the road, get this here. Here's the Bills, and the Bills in one-game possessions are 3-6. I had these stats ready for you here. Here's another one. Prescott has thrown multiple TDs in 7 consecutive games, 22 touchdowns, 2 picks. His percentage is 74%. He's 20 touchdowns, 2 picks, 125 quarterback rating. However, on the road, he's 63.5 completion percentage, which drops almost 10 percentage points. He's 8 touchdowns, 4 picks with an 88.8 quarterback rating. Dallas has lost all 3 of their games on the road, and it's supposed to be pretty shitty weather. Oh, and by the way, Buffalo has averaged 416 yards per game since week 12. It's the 3rd most in the NFL. How do you see this game playing out on Sunday?
I think the Bills offer a lot of value. If you look at the AFC conference odds right now, you got Baltimore at plus 250 to win the AFC. Chiefs are 3-1. Dolphins are like plus 350. And then it's the Bills at 9-1. This is a team, like you said, every game they've lost this year has been by 1 score or less. They got the 5th, I think they got the 5th best point differential in the NFL. They're coming on strong. These two teams are kind of like a mirror image of each other. If you look at their metrics, offensively, defensively, both teams with really good pass defenses. Cowboys don't travel well on the road this season. This is a huge game for Buffalo. It just scares me because the line opened up 2.
And by the way, the Bills are favored, aren't they, by a point and a half?
2-point favorites, but it's not moving. Like if the Bills, just from a market perspective, if the Bills are the right side and there's some real sharp guys out there that are even sharper than me, if they're looking to bet the Bills, well, that line should be creeping closer to 3. And it's not moving because they're scared. If it gets to 3, there's going to be a ton of sharp money on the Cowboys. I think the team that has the ball last, this is going to be a great game to watch. The team that has the ball last year is going to win the game. I didn't bet it yet. I kind of like the under. I went under 50. You got 2 better pass. These teams are known for their offense, but no one talks about how good they are defensively. They got some of the better pass defense in the league here. I like the under 50. Might be some weather in that matchup. If I do bet the game, I'll give it out on Twitter, and you guys can follow me at Philly Godfather. I'll give it out to you because I didn't bet it yet, but I kind of lean towards Buffalo a little bit, but I like the under better.
This is a big game here because Baltimore right now is sitting in the 1 seed in the AFC. They're sitting at 10-3, and they got to keep the Dolphins off their heels. Plus, the Jags have to keep the Colts, the Texans, also off their heels because they're sitting at 8-5, and they've got a 1-game lead in the South, and they're fighting for positioning right now. I would think that they're right now in the 3-hole in the AFC. So they're in the 3-hole right now. I mean, they had a chance 2 weeks ago to get to the number 1 seed if they had beaten and won that football game a couple weeks ago here. Baltimore is one of the better teams in the league. It's in Jacksonville. How do you look at this one?
I think the Jags win the game. I mean, they're at home. You can grab 3.5 on them. The line keeps dropping. It opened up, I think, 4.5 down to 3.5. It's probably going to close 3. I like Dougie P. He's going to put a game plan together. He's going to slow down Lamar Jackson. And Baltimore didn't really impress me, last week. I had teasers on them, and they almost lost the game outright. I mean, they got lucky to win that game. I like the Jags here. I think they beat Baltimore. I think they're better going into this week. I like Jacksonville plus 3. Take the 3.
I'm going to pick 2 bowl games. They're not the greatest. I'm not going to go through all that shit bowl games. Some of them things don't matter to me. Always remember this, too. Big Seal's never played in a December bowl game. I only do New Year's. I only play on New Year's. I don't play on December 15th and 16th bowl games. It's not working for me. When you get a Mickey Mouse watch for going to that bowl game, that ain't working for me. I have Sugar Bowl, Orange Bowl, Citrus Bowl. I have those kind of watches. I don't get the FruitLoops.com bowl. That's not working for me. I got 2 games. UCLA and your great friend Chip Kelly at Boise State. It's versus Boise State. It's at the LA Bowl there at SoHi Stadium. Who do you like in this thing?
I bet it early. I like 2.5 and 3 on the game. It's up to 6 now. It's just way too high. You got the 3rd-string quarterback playing for Boise. I mean, unless that kid's a superstar and no one knows about him, it's kind of late to bet UCLA because a lot of the value has been extracted from that price, and this is all price sensitive, this market. And if the game goes to 7, I might look to take some back on Boise State, but I like UCLA here. I think they win this game easily, hands down.
Yeah, it's probably Billy Joe Wentz that is the quarterback for Boise State. Something like that up there. And if you play on blue carpet, someone asked me, they had a bowl game up there. I forget what it is, like the Frito-Lay or some dumb shit bowl. And someone goes, Sills, would you play on blue carpet? I don't think so. California versus Texas Tech. It's the Independence Bowl, one of the really great tradition bowls. Cal's had a pretty decent season. Texas Tech underwhelming. What do you like in this thing?
I didn't bet it. I know there's some sharp money on Texas Tech. They laid 3 on Texas Tech. I think the number's right there. And if I don't have an edge, I'm not going to look to invest any money. I'm not going to look at a gamble. I'm looking to turn a profit. But there's some real sharp money on Texas Tech at -3.
All right, I got an invitation. Hey, look, I want you to have something. I want you to have I got an open invitation for you here. So, the Maxim girls, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've been invited.
My wife's Puerto Rican, right?
Yeah. No comment. Puerto Ricans, Italians. Who the hell?
Knife in the neck.
Hey, it's just we all have a vowel in our name, so we must be related. So I've been invited to the Lee Steinberg. This is the 37th annual Lee Steinberg Party, and guys like Lenny Kravitz show up. All kinds of celebrities show up. All like the top NFL guys. Mahomes will be there and such. I've been invited every year for about 20 years. So it's in Vegas. Have you ever heard of this hotel, the AHERN Hotel?
No.
Aaron?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know there's new hotels. I know there's new hotels here. It's February 10th. So I'm just leaving it open for you there because
I'll be out there. I'll be out there for Super Bowl.
Okay, well, get this. This party is one of the most exclusive parties, and I get a guest.
I'm
not bringing my old lady.
I met Lee down to Super Bowl 2020 when we were down there before the COVID hit. We were down there with Tony Bruno. We all met him, hung out. Nice guy. Great guy.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. So here we go. So, hey, man, how has the year been going so far?
We had a great season. NFL's been, I'm looking to get like a 5% edge over the sports books. This NFL season, we're closer to like 70% on the year. So 52.4% is the break-even mark. So if you do the math, we've had a great NFL season. College football was choppy, but now all our futures are coming in, like Washington, Jaden Daniels to win the Heisman at 12-1. We're sitting on Texas at 25-1 and Michigan at 9-1 to win the whole thing. We're making some money, so I'm happy. And like I said, we got Dak Prescott 20-1 to win the MVP. We're waiting on that ticket to cash. I got him under 12.5 interceptions, over 26.5 touchdowns. And like I said, if Trent Williams goes down before the playoffs, Cowboys are winning the Super Bowl.
Say it one more time.
But I do like the Eagles this week.
Find you.
I like the Eagles this week in the first half. So if you can bet them in the first half, I think you would cash a ticket. Find me at Twitter At Philly Godfather. Stop by the website, thephillygodfather.com. And every Friday, I'm here with you, brother. I love it.
You got it. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. See you next week.
Keep firing. Good luck, guys.
You got it, man. All right. Hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
Eat chicken wings, buy Hooters things. Christmas is near. Shop, have a beer. Christmas shopping shouldn't be hard. Give your friends a Hooters gift card.
This year, stuff their stockings and yours too with a one-size-fits-all gift card. Buy a $25 Hooters gift card and receive a $5 Santa's bonus card. Make it Hooters for the holidays.
Eat chicken wings, buy Hooters things. Christmas is near. Gift cards are here. Good at Hooters everywhere now. Hooters gifts are always favored.